What's that about East Riding is digital calc. Great calc. And people are already doing this sort of stuff on their own. And if you're in an urban area in the East Riding, which is an urban area part of South Yorkshire, is Widdensea. It's quite an interesting place. I don't know whether it's in the eligible area, but East Riding, as I said, what we actually were given the job of doing was the urban project, so we immediately decided to do it about the economic pathway and economic inclusion in an urban setting. Firstly, has been a big issue, and which digital inclusion is part of that pathway. Firstly, talked about the outcomes, what sort of things are required, which I think we focused really around jobs, business and enterprise, money in the pocket, and I think we talked about social enterprise opportunities as well. So that's the characteristic of, start to shape what's required of the programme. I'll find the next piece on this thing. Then we actually had quite a bit of a discussion about the audiences. Who was this aimed at? Who was the sell to? One of them is the types of people, school and college kids, the already employed, the unemployed, and we did talk a little bit about women as a particular opportunity in that area. We also talked though about the other side of the supply and demand equation, which is about businesses and who would want to employ people when people are a part of an economic process, the labour side of the backs of production. And the third element of that is the match funders, selling that to the match funders. What do they actually want out of it? Which reflects on the discussion that we had earlier on. The sort of shape and what the substance of it, one of the areas around with the urban dimension was information access in the right places. And we had a lot of talk about access to information, other services. We talked about channel to delivery, we talked about kiosks and opportunities that exist around that, but also other sorts of tools across different channels, which got us into a discussion about content and about what actually you put over these sort of contents. Content that we actually talked about things that were not just a big menu of stuff, that's fine, but about things that were specific to what people wanted and what people can't get to get where they are now. If you characterise that, that's two elements of digital content. You've got two elements specifically around the digital agenda. One is around access and one is around content. That's the sort of thrust of it around jobs. I would put in my terminology, we talked about the scope of this and the scale of this. This could be a really big thing. But we also talked about this as a connecting thing between stuff, which is actually common to some of the other things at all time. So that is the headline pitch. It's around economic inclusion and using access to information and services and content tailored to the needs of individuals, but set in the wider context of where these people want to go and how do they actually get there.
Good, Steve. Any questions on that one?